Uvaženi gledalci, želim vam dobro večer. Na kanalu ste Atlas televizije i u narednih 30 minuta u okviru specijalne emisije govorit ćemo o odnosima Crne Gore i Italije, političkoj i ekonomskoj saradnji. Naš gost večeras ambasador Italije u Crnoj Gori, gospodin Vincenzo del Monaco. Mr. del Monaco, thank you, welcome and thank you for your time for the viewers of Atlas television.
Thank you very much to you, thank you very much to Atlas TV. And it is always a very genuine pleasure for me to come here on Atlas and share my views with you and with the and with all the people watching Atlas TV.
Italian guests are certainly welcome in Montenegro. Yet a special one is expected to be in May. That will be the first visit of Italian president in the last 32 years. What should be the background of this visit?
You are absolutely right. It is the first visit by the President of Italy to Montenegro since 32 years. The last time it happened in 1993, and it was Sandro Pertini, the President at that time. And the background that allowed us to organize an official visit by President Mattarella to Montenegro lays on the really excellent level of the bilateral relations. The visit by a president is the celebration of the authentic deepness and width of bilateral relations between two countries. And let me remind you that in our constitutional system, as in yours, President of the Republic means the highest authority of the state, the supreme authority of the Republic. So it's basically Italy coming and embracing Montenegro. It's Italy coming and to renew and to make sure that there is new impetus, a further impetus to the development of the bilateral relations.
And maybe should this visit be interpreted as the direct support to Montenegro and NATO aspirations?
I don't have any authority to interpret the thinking of the Italian head of state. But from my perspective, if I may say so, the visit of President Mattarella stresses the importance Italy attaches, first of all, to the region of the Western Balkans. It is consistent with the priority Italian foreign policy attaches, not from today, since a long time ago, to this region, to the Euro-Atlantic perspective of this region. And it goes without saying, this visit is an excellent opportunity to renew the full support of Italy, the vision of the Italian foreign policy to the Atlantic and the European aspirations of Montenegro more specifically.
And by your opinion, what is the reason that some ex-president didn't came earlier in the past?
President Napolitano had expressed the wish to come to Montenegro, and then the agenda didn't make it possible. In foreign policy, like in human relations, things are sometimes possible, sometimes unachievable. But let me remind you, last year we had 8 ministerial visits, 8 ministerial meetings at bilateral level between Montenegro and Italy.
That certainly shows a good relations.
It shows much more than a good relation. Let me remind you that the two ministers of foreign affairs met 4 times between April and July last, so in less than 100 days. Former Minister Mogherini and Minister Luksic, they met 4 times. Minister of Defense came to Podgorica. This is to say that the state visits by the heads of state are not replaceable, because it is the highest expression of the wealth of bilateral relations. But they are to some extent symbolic, and that the visits at government level have themselves a very important significance, and we didn't miss a single appointment in the bilateral relations between Montenegro and Italy. So the fact that there was no presidential visit is far from meaning that there wasn't this great attention on the bilateral relations and on the regional approach.
Recently we had an important visit of Mr. Cantone. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes.
perfectly right.
President of Italian Anti-Corruption National Authority. In general, Montenegro has big support from Italy, especially in the area of rule of law and fight against corruption. What do you think about the achieved results in these fields?
I was extremely happy to receive the visit of the President of the Italian National Anti-Corruption Authority, Mr. Raffaele Cantone. Not only for the specific relevance of that visit itself, because of the scope of the visit, because of the substance of the visit, because of the issue, the topic, anti-corruption, which is a key issue within the broader framework of the reforms in the field of rule of law. I was happy because on the one hand, we managed to agree, and this agreement will be formalized very soon in a memorandum of understanding, that there is a broad scope for bilateral cooperation in the specific field of fight against corruption. We share the view that corruption is a cancer. It's a cancer that poisons the best potentialities of any country. So we have this big responsibility to fight together because we are neighbor countries, and the common border means opportunities, but as I keep on stressing, it also means big responsibilities on both sides. And on the other hand, the visit of Mr. Cantone, I interpret it as part of a larger mosaic, which is all these steps in the bilateral cooperation we have taken so far in the field of fight against organized crime, fight against any kind of illegal trafficking. And it is a cooperation, together with many others, that are strictly functional also to the European negotiation, the European accession negotiation. So I see the line of coherence, of consistency in what we are doing at bilateral level and what our vision and your vision is in terms of the negotiations to enter both NATO and the European Union.
You said the corruption is a cancer. What do you think? What could we do, or what to do, some things to be better or faster maybe?
Equip yourself with all the needed instruments. You need the tools. The agency will be operational from January 16. Before that deadline, before that starting point, many other things can already be done to structure your instruments that will be like arrows in the fight against corruption. Then what you should do, and what we should also do even more, is push a lot on the aspect of prevention. The fight against corruption is not only a matter of repression. That is, to some extent, the tail. It is the most visible aspect of the fight against corruption. But the real fight starts from its roots. It's cultural. We must make Montenegro, Italy, any country in the world, we must all stress the importance of prevention, enter the schools, advertise, spread the concept in every possible administration and in private companies that corruption is a crime and corruption poisons the sources, potential energies of any country.
Cooperation between Montenegro and Italian company A2A once more is in the focus of domestic public. After the contract expired, the temporary one was signed and it lasts until the June of 30. Are you optimistic about this?
Optimistic persons are usually well-informed persons. And I can tell you that I'm very optimistic.
That you are not informed?
I'm relatively well informed and nonetheless I'm very optimistic. Let's start from facts. people must see facts. In the last year, I've read so many speculations on the fact that there was no room for no margin of maneuver in the negotiations between the government of Montenegro and ADWA. I've read so many times that the ADWA was on the edge of leaving Montenegro, that we were looking for other partners, not accompanying a common project of Montenegro and ADWA, but replacing ADWA. I think that the signature of March 31st last, ADWA and the government of Montenegro contradicted concretely all the speculations that were in front of us, that we had the opportunity to read in the last year. That signature testifies of a clear determination in continuing the cooperation between the Italian company and your government, but it also represents a further confirmation of shared interest in the continuation of this so crucial, so important cooperation. There is no reason not to be optimistic. The interim agreement is clear. We know that you are looking forward to build the thermal power plant in Plevlia. You know very well that we attach the greatest importance to an EPCG being able to do always better and more, to generate profit, and to have a fully independent management, which means a management capable of ruling the EPCG according to make sure that the company will indeed generate as much profit as possible. And the importance, let me stress it, of a stable regulatory framework.
But what could be the consequences if negotiations fail?
I think it's totally useless to elaborate or speculate on a very remote hypothesis. I do not want to fall in the mistake that I just criticized of many articles that were deprived of any rational ground. So let's commit ourselves to make sure that the negotiations will proceed on a right path, on a positive path, and that there will be a happy end.
Okay. You already mentioned the second block of a thermal power plant, Plevlia. That is also in our focus. As we know, ADWA sought the inclusion of a third partner, and Montenegro government explained that is a primary task for ADWA. So, has ADWA found any potential partners so far?
You are right. As far as I know, ADWA would like a third partner to jump in, to contribute to this investment. And this is absolutely common in international business and international affairs, having sorts of consortiums which allow to have more power when realizing a big investment, an investment of the importance of the second block of the thermal power plant in Plevlia. I don't have the details. I can't really answer you precisely whether a third partner was found. What I may tell you that there are a series of potential partners that might be able to start negotiations for this common project. I ignore whether these partners have been contacted or not, whether these potential partners have been contacted or not, whether the negotiation will start or not. That will depend on the dialogue between ADWA and the government of Montenegro.
At which stage is the construction of an underwater electrical cable that will connect Montenegro and Italy?
Well, I'm very happy to tell you, as I had already anticipated last year here on the stage.
So for this question you have news?
Well, the first 140 kilometers of cable already lay on the bedrock of the Adriatic Sea. So I think it's an achievement.
It's something for the beginning.
It's an achievement. It's something very concrete. And let me tell you that is, for the time being, the most important infrastructural project achieved by Montenegro. And I'm very happy to acknowledge that we are the partner of Montenegro in that strategic project.
We talked about that our two countries have good relations. So can we expect...
More than good.
More than good, you're right. Can we expect more investments from Italy? And if we can, in which fields?
We have a liberal economy, so I'm not guiding potential investors. It is upon them to decide whether the conditions are met in Montenegro for new investments.
By your opinion, sorry for interrupting you, is this a good time for new investments?
It depends on the field, it depends on the expectations, it really depends also on the financial power and industrial power of an eventual Italian investor being ready to come to Montenegro. It is too general to give you a precise answer. I'm sure that when I think of your infrastructural sector, when I think of your energy sector, when I also think of the other traditional big sector for Montenegro, tourism, I see the potentialities for new investors to come. But I would be a liar if I told you I have a name or I have two names. It's like, you know, fishes coming close to the shore. From time they call the embassy, they ask us information, we provide any possible information. I may tell you that I've always found the open doors by your authorities in exchanging information with Italian potential interlocutors, not only from the government, but even from other leaders of parties not belonging to the majority coalition. I mean, I see really your country committed in opening further the borders and accepting new capitals. We are working for that. Let's be optimistic.
Maybe it is not a good time for new investments, but for the scholarships, certainly yes. Your embassy announced scholarships for the Montenegrin students. In which fields of education you think that the studying in Italy could be beneficial for Montenegrin students?
You know, I consider culture an evergreen. Culture is one of the most important, let's call it, fertilizer for the future of the bilateral relations with any country, because it's giving the possibility of people-to-people contacts, giving the possibility to our younger generations to come in touch one with the other, exchange experiences, share culture, understand that we live all the more today in an interconnected and interdependent global society. And this is especially the case when we think of Europe, our continent. So I really push hard on the development of cultural relations, scientific relations also, because it's a form of generosity. It's putting seeds in the ground because they will give amazing fruits in the years to come. And also this year we will grant a certain number of scholarships to Montenegrin students, basically in any field, but in medicine.
Sorry?
Not in medicine.
Why not in medicine?
You have
enough doctors?
I think that is for organizational and administrative reasons. I don't know whether it's also for financial reasons, because then you can't... What is the utility of a scholarship for a few months when you want to become a doctor?
Yeah.
You need much more. So we prefer to focus scholarships in fields of activities, fields of study that do not necessarily need to spend 6 years in Italy.
And my last question for today, something that is also important for our country, Expo. Tell us something about the Expo.
It's important for Montenegro, but it's very important for Italy.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And it's a world event. I think it's very important for the entire world. I'm not speaking as head of mission of Italy or Italian citizen. I think that the topic that was chosen for the Expo, sustainable life, sustainable food, the future of the wealth, even physical wealth of our population. It's a crucial topic. And the Expo, the Chart of Milan, they will empower all those fora and where the thinking is ongoing on how to improve the human being life conditions. That is the key essence of the Expo. I think that the Expo in Milan will also represent a tremendous window of opportunity for Montenegro, because within the Mediterranean cluster, you will have the possibility to show the rest of the world your savoir-faire in the field of agriculture, in the field of sustainable development, in the field of food. And I consider it a very important opportunity to broadcast, to show one of the many excellent aspects of your country, and it is a tool to attract more and more tourists to Montenegro.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you once more for your time. You are always welcome here.
Thank you very much indeed to you and to the audience.
Uvaženi gledalci, naš gost večeras bio je ambasador Italije u Crnoj Gori, gospodin Vincenzo del Monaco. Naravno, ostanite i dalje uz program Atlas televizije. Ja sam Alenka Vujović i želim vam prijetno večer.